Good morning, everyone. This is WBIR Channel 10 digital storyteller William Winnett, and I am here in our podcast room with a very special guest, WWE's Ivy Nile. Look at that.
Thank you so much.
And let's just go ahead and get started right into it. First off, you are a local.
I am.
You've lived in Johnson City, lived in Powell.
Yeah.
How's it feel to be home?
It's so nostalgic, coming back here. Every time I come back home, it's just, I have so many growing pains here and amazing memories, and my family is still here. So every time I'm here, it's just, I get so warm, fuzzy feeling because it's, it's who I am today is because of Knoxville. So it's awesome to be here.
Yeah. Now, are there any places in town that, when you're in town, you have to go to these places?
So of course I hit all the gyms, and my family, of course. My family is still here, mom and dad, my brother and my sister. And I don't know, just hit Market Square.
Yeah.
I did a lot of, I was a massage therapist here. I work up in Hardin Valley, and I always love to kind of go out in that area because that's basically where I did my MMA training, my jiu-jitsu training, my gym training, my workplace. I lived there all on the same street. So it's cool to come back.
Now, you said jiu-jitsu, MMA.
Yeah.
I've heard taekwondo.
Yep.
Where does, I guess, this motivation come from, this competitive spirit to go and do all those things?
It's not a secret. I'm a smaller, jacked person, but I am smaller. So doing taekwondo growing up, it was very frustrating because I'm strong, but I'm also small, and I was just getting my head kicked off left and right, and I was getting sick of it. So I just wanted to become an absolute monster and learn how to fight and learn how to be fast, and I just wanted to be well-rounded. So as soon as I was really good on my feet, so I think I need to learn how to do jiu-jitsu, which is ground. So I wanted to get good on my feet, get good on the ground, be good with my hands. I wanted to be an overall good athlete. And then once I figured out, why are my hands dropping? Because I was tired. So I was like, I want to get in shape. I want to learn how to eat. I want to learn how to just become an overall beast, basically. Yeah. So I just wanted to get my hands on everything and be able to handle anything anyone throws at me.
And you have definitely done that. You are, like you said, a beast.
Yeah.
It's great. We actually did a Zoom interview a bunch of years ago, right before you got called up, right after you got called up to the main roster, and you were about to perform in Knoxville for the first time. This was February 2024.
Yes.
Tell me about performing in your hometown for that first time.
I think that was my first time. My parents have seen me wrestle as well. That was a live event, if I remember correctly. So this coming Monday, it is Raw. So I'm hoping for I just want to make them proud and just, I'm not crazy. I knew that I had this in me all along. I just didn't know. Because, back when I was living here, I was 15, learning how to work out, learning how to fight, learning all these things. And then it coming to the point of I'm wrestling on Raw. It's such an awesome journey, and I just want them to be the past 15, 20 years has led me to this moment. So it's super awesome it's just a hometown proud feeling to work my butt off for so many years and then come to your hometown. I think everyone feels that way, going to their hometown and making everyone proud, and it's just, I don't think there's a better feeling out there.
Yeah, for sure. Now, you mentioned your parents going to see you.
Yeah.
What was their reaction when you're like, hey, I'm going to go to WWE?
Yeah, it's, living in Powell, you just don't really hear of it, or opportunities get like that, because I initially went on Titan Games before all this, and that's when everything kind of got kickstarted, is when I got on the Titan Games. Because from the Titan Games, I got a tryout for WWE from being on that show. So that's when everything kind of kickstarted. And, it wasn't in anywhere on any radar for anyone for me to go to WWE. So as soon as I got the tryout when I went to Florida, like the tryout, I tell everyone this, the tryout was like one of the best days of my life. I love the WWE tryout because it was all about, who, like, last woman standing, like who can make it, who can last. And I swore to them, I was like, I'm not leaving until you guys sign me. Like, I was determined to wrestle for WWE. Like, that's what I wanted. Like, I didn't know that's what I wanted. And then once I realized all this training, like, it was like a crazy epiphany. Like, once all these years of training paid off for the moment to join WWE, like, it all just made sense and it all started clicking. So it's awesome. I'm not sure if that answered your question.
Yeah,
I think I got off a little bit.
It's okay. You spoke about the Titan Games.
Yeah.
And I was watching an interview of you earlier today, and you mentioned that you were at a job mopping a floor when you saw yourself on TV.
Yes.
Can you tell me about that, and was that sort of like an aha moment for you? Just like the guy said, the juxtaposition of that.
Yeah. So that was before the tryout reached out to me. So that was like a humble moment because when I went out to California to film the Titan Games, I was like a Beverly hillbilly, right? Like, never been to California, and I was trying to be chill. I was like, I go to California all the time. I'd never been there before in my life. I think I've barely been on a plane. So when I went out there and, I knew how I did on the show, but like it didn't air yet. And so I was like coming back to Tennessee. I'm like, I'm better than all y'all. I was getting like a big head, but like no one even knew I did the show. I couldn't even say anything. So I was a massage therapist at the time, like I said. So when I came back, I didn't want to do that. I was like, I'm better than massage therapy. But when I came back, like, I needed to work. Like, all my problems didn't go away because I was on a television show. So my job was to clean offices and clean toilets and clean break rooms and all this stuff. And that was the cards that I dealt, and I had to work. I had bills. I couldn't just make it all go away. So the night that I lost on the show, I was mopping the floor in the break room, and this TV was tiny. It was like yay big. Watching myself on TV, and there was a doctor in the break room, and I was literally taking out trash and mopping the floors. And I looked up, and I didn't want to watch myself lose, and I didn't want to put myself in a position of, it was honestly the best position for me to be in because it taught me, like, it's like, yeah, like, that was cool, but you're also kind of losing yourself into this, you need to stay humble. Remember, literally stay humble. You're cleaning floors and watching yourself on TV. Like, don't forget where you came from. And that was a realization of, it's like, don't get too big headed, And it was a really cool, like, I'm like, okay, as soon as I kind of came back down from that arrogancy is when WWE reached out to me shortly after that. So as I was watching myself, like, I was like, dang. I was like, this, if only people could see, like, I'm watching myself lose on TV as I'm mopping floors. Everyone thinks one thing, right? Everyone thinks, like, I made it big and whatnot. But, like, you just got to stay humble and realize where you came from. And, I think being from this town specifically definitely reminds you of, like, that's why, like, when I come home, it's always refreshing because little memories like that pop into my head, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you could have easily taken that moment and been like, you know what, maybe this is it for me. But you
took it. Maybe like, like, this is it, yeah.
So very cool. Now, you've recently stepped into some newer ventures of the world of bodybuilding.
Yes.
I've heard. What went into that decision of bodybuilding? I mean, you said you done taekwondo and jiu-jitsu and
Everything.
And now, bodybuilding. Why not, right?
Yeah, I've always been curious about it. I didn't know much about it, to be honest, and I was a little hesitant. I didn't want to get a bad relationship with food or the gym, because that's my life, and I didn't want to have a bad relationship with it. But I've been doing it since I was 15. I've been doing it for 20 years, so I'm like, I don't think that will happen. But I'm jacked. So I feel like I have the most amazing coaches, Jen and Ferland. They are just, we're just all in the right mindset. Everything made sense. We were leading up to Mania, and of course, like every Mania, people are just getting ripped, getting shredded. Bianca Belair, of course, our hometown girl here, she did a show not that long ago either. It was like 2 years ago, maybe. I can't remember how many years ago it was. But she's done a show, and I think she was like going through War Games at the time. She was cutting, and she just looked incredible. And I was like, if she can do that, I was like, I think I can do that too. So that was like, it took some time for me to actually pull the trigger on it and be like, I really want to do this. But there's nothing quite like that discipline. I'm disciplined, but this was very, very different. And it's always something I wanted to try and just like see what that world is about, because it really goes hand in hand with wrestling, because it's so, it's discipline. It's looking a certain way. It's also being a beast. And like, you could see the change in my body, like over the past few months of like just the science behind it of like how much food. And, I was doing appearances in Vegas, and I was like a week before my show, and I was like in my big cutting phase. I was shredded. I was ripped. And it was very motivating for me too, because like whenever I get my Mania moment, like I'm going to look crazy, like absolutely crazy. So like this year was kind of like a test run. It's like, because everyone gets shredded, and, everyone gets so motivated by Mania. And I'm like, so I was kind of like testing out the waters and be like, you know what, like whenever my time is ready, like I can definitely do this. So I did physique and bodybuilding. I won both categories. I won overall, cleaned house, swept it clean. And I can't wait to just continue that journey. And, it's the loves of my life are gym and wrestling, and just becoming the best version of me and the best athlete I can be for WWE and everything else that I take on.
Yeah, excellent. Now, you mentioned Bianca. We got to talk about Bianca.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a video of you in your bodybuilding competition. She was in the crowd cheering you on.
Yes.
Now, talk about is there a camaraderie there? You guys friends? What do you guys like together in real life?
She is so supportive. So when I first told her about it, she knew how difficult it is, and how like free will's crazy. Like, like we have certain times we have to eat, and like how much. And like, it's so tempting to just like grab something and eat it. And so the discipline is insane. And, when I told her, of course, like people like noticed my body changing. They're like, what are you getting ready for? And I was I was just, getting ready for Mania. And I was like, I think I want to hop on a stage. Like, this is crazy. And she was so supportive. It was so like, she knew like what work went into it and how much discipline it took. And she's like, tell me when your show is and I'm there. Yeah. So her and Montez showed up, and I had the best hype crew. It was so funny. Like they went off. I didn't know how crazy they were going to be. They just went off, and it was so awesome. And to have her there supporting was like, it meant the world to me. She's expecting. So it's so awesome that she, took the time to do that. Hopefully one day down the road we'll do one together. I don't know. But, it's always been my dream to wrestle her too. Like, I think she set the bar so high. She is just an amazing athlete, an amazing person. And of course we miss her dearly, but we're all excited for her to have this baby.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So Cool moment for me the other day. I was in a Walmart, and I go into the toy section because I'm a nerd like that. And on the racks is an Ivy Nile action figure. So, have you seen this yet?
Have I seen my action figure?
Yeah.
That they sent one to me.
Oh, perfect.
Yes.
Perfect.
Oh, I was. First of all, now like we got to make the action figure more jacked. Because no, I'm just kidding. They did an amazing job. Oh my gosh, I am over the moon about it. It's so awesome.
So, you're in video games. You have trading cards. Do you collect this stuff? Do you get every Ivy Nile piece of merch?
So, me and my husband just built a gym in our backyard, and we have a wall dedicated to, my bodybuilding stuff, my action figures up, my trading cards. I honestly just can't. I'm so blessed. I can't believe it. Like, people playing with me on a video game is crazy. People tagging me and buying my action figure. My nieces, they take me to school with, like show and tell and stuff. Like, you can't, it's so cool.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm so blessed. And it's every time I do signings with cards, like, it's like I started off in Powell, Tennessee, barely in a house that had Wi-Fi. And then now it's like, it's just awesome.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
It's
it
crazy.
is.
But Monday night coming up, let's talk about Monday.
Okay.
Raw's coming to town.
Raw's coming to town.
Tell me what people can expect this Monday night.
So Monday's going to be interesting because Saturday we have Backlash. And Backlash is the biggest dramatic show because it's post-Mania. And, we have so much amazing new talent. We got Trick Williams that is taking everything by storm. We have Obafemi. We have Sol Ruka, who just officially signed with Raw. And we have it's getting competitive. And that's where I shine.
Yeah.
Is where the competitiveness is. That's exactly where I want to be. So I guess you never know what's going to happen, especially after Backlash. We have Asuka and Io going at it, which I'm so excited to watch. Io is one of my idols. She's incredible. So we have Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is going to be here in all of his glory. We have Seth Rollins, Obafemi, like I said, he's Brock Lesnar retired. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that was crazy.
It's going to be insane. Monday, we'll see what happens Saturday, with all that, it's funny because we have Mania and then Backlash, but then we need a Backlash for the Backlash because, like, who knows what's going to happen at Backlash, So
Right.
it's, we'll see.
Yeah. What is it about WWE that drives the fans crazy? Like, is it the pomp and circumstance? It's just entertainment at its finest, I feel like.
What drives the fans crazy? I think for me personally, it's relating to the fans on a level of, for me, it's, I always try to relate to the audience and invite them in and just be like, go on this wrestling journey with me and try to, like, I think it's such a unique thing. And it's so easy to get, like one of your favorite shows. Mm-hmm. Like, pick a favorite show that you love. And, like, how attached do you get to the characters? Like The Office. I love every single character. So it's like, once you really latch on to people, you just become so invested. And I feel like it's very similar. It's very similar to that because once you get invested into someone, like you care so much about them, you're like, I want to know everything about them and their life. And, like I want to see them also succeed. Like, people want to see me, like, go after Becky Lynch or go after, me having a random title match or whatever. So, like, the support means so much to me, that people want to see me succeed. You know, there's a bunch of negative stuff that I can pay attention to, but the stuff I really, really pay attention to is the support. And of course, positivity goes much farther than the negativity that I've seen. And, you know, it's awesome that, you know, there's a bunch of negativity out there, but for the most part, like the wrestling fans, like without them like encouraging me to, you know, keep going and like keep going after stuff. And, you know, it's a very competitive, very, very competitive atmosphere. And, you know, I think it's just people just get attached to us and, you know, want to join us for the ride.
Yeah. And it is a ride.
Yeah.
I will tell you that I've been to a couple WrestleManias, and there's nothing else.
Were you
like
in Vegas?
I was not in Vegas.
Oh, okay.
I went to Orlando and then Dallas, 32 and 33.
Oh, Tampa? No, wait.
Orlando and Dallas, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So it was, there's nothing else like it.
Yeah.
So if there's any little girl that sees you on TV and looks up to you and is like, I want to be like Ivy Nile, what advice would you give to them?
Some of the biggest advice my sister has given me, it's, you know, you're always capable more than you think. Like you're more capable than you think of accomplishing something. You know, the humans are we're capable of so much that we can't even understand. And once we kind of get over feeling sorry for ourselves or excuses and such, like we are meant to be so much more than we think. And as soon as you start believing in that, it comes true. And, you know, just absolutely be your own hero, because people will let you down. But I swear to you, like my self-talk and my self, you know, motivation, like it's all me, you know, like I just know I surprise myself, like the bodybuilding show and these matches that I've done, like I surprise myself sometimes, like of what I'm capable of. And that's motivating for me to be like, you know, like I can handle more than I think. You know, my sister's put me in that. She went through bone cancer several years ago, and, you know, her journey to get over that and rehab and everything. And she proved to me what she was capable of. And, you know, we're just, you know, once we realize, you know, we can really accomplish anything. And another point too is that don't ever, you know, some people have this one thought, and they, you know, if that's really what you want, like go after it and don't stop until you get it, but also don't close your mind off to other things. So like when I was here training for no reason, I just wanted to be a monster. I wanted to be a beast. But why? I didn't know. But I 15 years later, I'm like, it took a while. I mean, like, I don't wish for everyone to have a 15-year-long journey. But at the same time, don't ever close off. Like I said, if this something is your dream, that's a little different. But if you don't know, that's okay. That's okay too. Because at the time I didn't know. But I knew something was destined for me. I just didn't know. And that was okay. I just knew that if I put my head down, trained, and become the best version of myself, I'm capable more than I think. Having all these positive mindset issues, like positive mindsets, and just going after things that are, you know, becoming the best version of yourself, and never just really tapping into who you are, I think. And, you know, just never stop. You know, I feel like we can come in waves, up and down, up and down, up and down, but try to stay consistent, try to, you know, just become a beast, and you never know where it'll lead you. So if you're a little girl watching, you know, just know that sometimes it's amazing to be your own little hero and show up for yourself, because at the end of the day, that's who you got.
Miss Ivy Nile, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. You're awesome.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.